Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Brought to you in part by Master Networks Wylie and powered by the Difference Media LLC. Today's show is hosted by Nathan Smith, small business owner, entrepreneur, Master Networks member and co-creator of the North Texas Community Difference. And co-hosted by Knapp with Norwex, environmentally friendly and chemical-free cleaning products, and Marissa Page with Page Restoration. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our co-host and their guest share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie starts now.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lendon Wilson, the creator of the Difference Radio Live Stream and Podcast Network. I am filling in today for Nathan Smith, who has a lot of commitments going on. He's actually doing another show for me tomorrow. And so he's not going to be here today to host, but I am. Obviously, with summertime coming up, we've got a lot of people on vacation. So we've actually got a fill-in co-host today. I wouldn't say a fill-in. He has a co-hosting duty on a different day, but they swapped. And so you'll be able to figure that out probably in a second. Anyway, I am Lendon Wilson. We created the Community Difference to bring more attention to the positive things that are going on within our communities. If you look at your mainstream media, there's a lot of negative press. Sometimes we tune all of that out. And most of the time, they don't even address what's going on in our communities that is so fascinating and so amazing, and not to mention the amazing people. And so what we've done is we partnered with Master Networks Wylie, and we partnered with some local business owners and leaders, and they come on each and every week to talk about the community of Wylie and what's going on. And I'm telling you what, if you're not aware of what Wylie is all about, you need to plug into this show and then plug into Wylie. There's always something going on. There's amazing people in this community. If you like that small town feel with all the amenities of a big city, then you can find it here. So that's all about the Community Difference-Wylie. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring on Knapp, and I'm going to bring on Dallas Jones, who is filling in for Marissa Page today. Doesn't look anything like her, didn't wear the wig like we asked him to do. And I appreciate you for not wearing the wig like we were joking about asking you to do. I think we're all better for it. But thank you both for being here. Dallas, thank you for filling in for Marissa. I really appreciate that collaboration of y'all working together. Gives everybody a chance to be introduced to different audiences. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to let ladies go first. I'm going to let Marley talk about herself and her business, and then Dallas, you'll follow her up.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Marley. I am a independent consultant with Norwex, and Norwex is all about chemical-free, sustainable solutions for your home and lifestyle. Our job is to educate everyone on ways that you can clean your home safer and better with cloth and water. I've been with them for about 5 years, and I have a small team that's growing here in the Wylie area. And part of the reason I joined Master Networks is to help establish those types of businesses, direct sales, as legitimate types of businesses, because we get a pretty bad stigma sometimes for kind of people that maybe have done it wrong in the past. So I'm really working hard to create kind of a new vision for what that looks like. A lot of people have these side income streams, and so it shouldn't have a stigma. And so being part of Master Networks has helped me with that process and kind of my mindset around just being a business owner and being connected in the community and what that's all about. So I'm excited to be here.
That's awesome. And I think what you just described, Marley, is kind of, it goes with our topic today. So I'm going to be really interested in talking to you when we get to that about overcoming the challenges of a local business. there's so many businesses that are not only overcoming the challenges that we all have, but a lot of times, like you said, we're overcoming the industry image.
Yes.
And it's not just, sometimes you think of specific industries. Every one of them's got some. I love the way you put it. You didn't blame anybody. You just said they might have not been doing it right. And that was a really cool way to address the challenges that we have to overcome. So thank you for that. Looking forward to talking more about that in our second half segment.
Thanks.
Dallas Jones, the tech doctor.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Marley. So I am obviously not Marissa Page. Surprise, switcheroo. But I do own a technology company here in Wylie, Texas. We recently rebranded. Most people know me as a tech doctor, but our company name is Rementus, and we have a focus on memories. And what that means is bringing your memories into the future, whether that is IT services that focus on data collection and data recovery, or whether it's taking old memories that you might have on a VHS tape or negatives, old photography, and making sure you can enjoy that on new televisions, computers, and other platforms, so that you can continue to enjoy those memories so they don't fade away. And so that's what we do.
Dallas, how did you get into that? Because I know that, if you're old enough, like I am, you've seen a big transition of I remember when the first VHS camera came out, and the ones that you had personally was as big as some of the network ones, right? I mean, they were 40, 50 pounds you lug around on your shoulder. They weren't convenient at all. And we thought that was amazing back in the day. I mean, if I really want to date myself, when I played high school football and even college football, we had the old real football. I mean, and if I said that now, people wouldn't even understand what I was talking about. Most people wouldn't.
No, it's like cassette tape. What?
Right.
It's amazing how that industry has evolved, where we've gone from literally like a bazooka-sized camcorder and having something else to record audio, and then your Walkman and boombox and all that. And we've taken all that and put it into this.
Exactly.
And that is absolutely amazing. It also presents challenges for the industry, because who has a VCR anymore? Who has even a DVD player? We've been doing a lot of conversions with like DVDs and CDs, because nobody has a DVD player. Nobody has a CD drive anymore. And so all those technologies that we thought were like latest, greatest new stuff 15, 20 years ago is now obsolete. And the last thing you want is to let all of that just disappear. So I kind of got into that because we got into a project with a big client of mine, one of my favorite guys to work with. And he just asked me off the cuff, this was about 6-7 years ago, was talking and said, hey, do you know anybody that does this? And I'm like, no, but I can. And so from that, it blossomed into something that is just amazing, where we get all kinds of cool stuff and just figure out how to take it from where it is, where you can't see it, to bringing it to current technology and making sure to future-proof it as well, to keep it going moving forward.
Well, I think that's a good point that you make there as far as future-proof it, because I've got a suitcase full of old photographs, and many of them are over 100 years old, of my grandfather in World War I. And you don't want to get rid of the photograph, but also you're like, how do I save this just in case? And so I think that, for a lot of people, we don't think, it's kind of like insurance and all these other, protective things. We don't think about it until it's too late. So talk a little bit, and then we're going to go into the What's Up Wylie section, but I do want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about future protection. I mean, what do we need to be thinking about that we don't think about every day, and why?
Well, it's funny you mentioned photographs from like the 40s. I actually have a good client that brought in some old booklets that the pictures in this booklet were taken in like 1909, and from 1909 to 1929. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing about it was that these photographs are starting to fade. Mm-hmm. And they've been fading for years, but our scanners and some of the technology that we use was able to overscan and recapture some of that image. And I don't have it right in front of me, but if you check out my Facebook posts and whatnot, you'll be able to see some of that information and content that we put out, where you can literally see like the difference between what it looks like in real life versus what the scanner was able to extract out of the image. And it's amazing the amount of detail that we can recapture and bring back to life in that instance. As far as future proofing goes, it's just, keeping an eye on the latest trends in technology and where things are moving. I often take a look into patents as well and what patents have been filled out. So that kind of gives us a glimpse of what to look forward to in the future. And it's so funny because we've seen in the past couple of decades, a lot of science fiction from the 60s, 70s, and 80s is now science fact.
Right.
And so all those things that we dreamed about 30, 40 years ago are now becoming a reality in today's world. And so even looking at today's science fiction and what people envision that the future will look like and saying, okay, let's make sure that we've got something that can sort of trend this direction technology-wise. And that the ways that we're recovering that data follow those trends and can be converted and transferred in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Marley, we're going to get back with you a little bit about Norwex as well. But right now, we're going to transition to our What's Up, Wylie segment.
What's up, Wylie?
And I'm going to let both of you talk a little bit about what's going on in Wylie, around Wylie, what people in Wylie are doing, maybe outside of Wylie, because, we have Murphy and we have Saxe and we have Rowlett and Allen, all of these communities right around Wylie. And there's a lot of us that interact with those communities as well. So, Marley, you want to start us off on what's going on and what's up in Wylie?
So this week at the Cross Church, a couple of things going on. The carnival, the annual carnival, is going to be in town this week. I think they had to reschedule from last week. Usually they do it in conjunction with VBS, but they have their carnival this week, and then that is open to the community. It's a big event. It's always packed downtown Wylie. Wylie is going to be busy this weekend for sure, because I know there's some other things going on that Dallas is going to mention. In Murphy this month, they're running Sounds at Sundown. They're bringing in local bands to perform on the grass in the amphitheater over in Murphy. And there's vendors out selling food. Last week there was pizza and barbecue, pretzels and ice cream. It was a lot of fun. It's really well shaded, so it wasn't overly hot. And that's a good event. That's every Friday night this month. And my husband and I are actually out there this weekend with a booth. We'll have barbecue. And then the other thing going on is all summer long at the library. There's all kinds of cool stuff for the kiddos. There's all kinds of events, all ages, lots of things to do up there. And that's a fun one because it's always free, and it's a great piece of our community. So.
Awesome. Dallas, what do you got? What's going on?
So a couple of things this weekend that are really exciting in Wylie. Juneteenth is going to be at Old City Park on Saturday the 17th. That's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you're not familiar with Wylie, Old City Park is the park that is literally facing the front of historic downtown Wylie. So it's at the corner of Ballard and 78. It's going to be super exciting. Lots of folks there. It's going to be the place to be on Saturday. And if you get tired of that, you can always jump across the street and go to the carnival at the Cross Church. And then speaking of churches, my church, North Place Church in Wylie, both at their Wylie and Saxe campuses, they're going to be doing a golf-themed Father's Day this Sunday. So there are going to be some golf-themed activities. I think they're going to be doing like mini golf putt-putt type thing inside the church lobby. So that's going to be really fun to attend this weekend.
All right. Well, that's the What's Up Wylie segment. We appreciate y'all for making sure that we all know and understand what's happening there. What we're going to do is we're going to break right now, commercial break. And then when we come back, you both have invited two amazing people to be on the show today, and we're going to let them talk about who they are and what their business is all about. So everybody stay tuned. We will be right back.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by One Payon and JP Direct Health, providing affordable health insurance solutions as a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Allison Wilson and Community Wealth Advisors, Life Well Planned. Angela Tucker with Coldwell Banker Apex. Here to help you discover your real estate dreams and build wealth through all stages of life. And by Cordell Reynolds with New Res Mortgage. Your mortgage journey starts right now. You are watching the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together we can make the difference. And now back to the show.
All right, we are back, and I want to thank those sponsors. Those sponsors, by the way, the show sponsors are also our co-hosts, and so we really appreciate that. Also part of the Master Networks-Wylie community, which Dallas and Marley are. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but right now we want to get to our guest. And excuse me, I was hoping to hold off of that till y'all started talking. So I'm going to let Marley introduce hers first, and then Dallas introduce yours, and then we'll bring them on together. But Marley, go ahead. Tell us who you have with you today.
Yeah, so one of my friends in the direct sales industry, she is a Noonday ambassador, and Noonday allows women in impoverished places around the world to create artisan jewelry, and they bring it here to sell here in the United States. She and I have been in the business about the same amount of time. We partner together often for events. We have an annual event that we do together with several other friends, and it's just been a lot of fun to kind of walk this journey together. She also volunteers for Catalyst Ministries in Rockwall, and they help bring women who have been trafficked out of that situation and elevate them into this community, help them get education and job skills, and then help them become independent. So she has a very big heart and a lot of passion for helping empower other women, and she's just very inspirational. So,
all right. And Dallas, who is your guest today?
My guest today is the man, Gino Mulliqi, the owner of Napoli's Italian restaurant. Gino is obviously a local business owner and a legend here in Wylie, Texas. A husband, dad, all-around great guy, one of my favorite people to spend time and hang out with. And if you haven't been to Napoli's, you are missing out on the best Italian food. It's amazing. And it's family owned. When I go in there, it's either him, his dad, his brother, wife. You know, there's somebody in the family that's always there. So it's a good family business. They do things right. Gino is all over town and gives back to the community in leaps and bounds. He's just a mountain of a man in a very figurative sense. He's not huge, but he's a big deal to me. And so I'm super excited to have him on today's.
All right. Well, welcome, April, and welcome, Gino. Welcome to the show.
Morning.
morning.
Well, we're excited to have you both. I want to give each one of you now a chance to talk about who you are as a person, a little bit about your family life and your likes and your hobbies, but then also we want to know about your business. And I'm looking forward as we get into this next segment after our break, after you guys talk a little bit. We are going to be talking about the challenges of small business owners, and Gino, being around, the Napoli's name has been around for. I've been in Dallas 30 years, and I mean it was one of the first places that I ever went was to Napoli's, and so I'm sure that all of you understand the challenges of small businesses and what we have to do to make to be successful. And then April, you and Marley, I'm really looking forward to talking about those direct sales. I mean, and how tough that is. It was cool what Marley said about how y'all partnered up, and I'm sure that it's a great support group, but direct sales, that's got to be tough. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But April, ladies first, we want you to go and talk a little bit about what you do, who you are, what you do, and tell us about Noonday.
Well, yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Marley, for
inviting me to be on this. It's just an honor. So yeah, I'm April Mozingo. I grew up in Garland, but I live in Rowlett right now. I'm married and I have 2 kiddos. I'm on the women's ministry team at my church. Hobbies, I guess we like to go hiking. I like to read. We like to travel. So I primarily, I'm an ambassador with Noonday, like Marley said. I got into this business because just when I learned about the mission and what they're doing and the impact that they're having on not just women around the world, but whole communities around the world, I got very excited and just wanted to do what I could to help support this system. So yeah, Noonday, we partner with artisans, and these artisans own their own businesses. So what we do is just create a marketplace for them here in the States. And then we can help them, just elevate their businesses. And we pour into them as well. So that's one of my hats is with the Noonday Collection. And then, like Marley said, I'm also the volunteer and prayer coordinator with Catalyst Ministries. So that is a local organization here in the North Texas area. And we provide a restorative home for women who are survivors of trafficking. It's a 2-year program, and it's just it's a wraparound program. So it's we're looking at the whole person and how we can help her in her healing journey to independence. So that's what I do.
So anyone, and I'm glad you brought that up, April. We've had a couple of shows over the last 3 years of some other nonprofits that work with women, and help in the rehabilitation of the trafficked women. And I did not understand when I always thought of trafficked people, I thought of some other country far, far away. I did not understand that it was so dynamic locally, that it's happening in our neighborhoods, that it's happening right next door. And a lot of times it's being done through their very own families, through the people that they grew up loving and trusting.
Right.
And so the reason the rehab is so important is because once they're out of it, they have nowhere else to go, because it's a lot of times family that got them into it in the first place. And so that was one of the most exciting things. It was exciting in a way that people were helping, but it was also heartbreaking when you hear those stories. So, I mean, that could be a totally different show, because we went on for hours and hours and hours, and it was so revealing. It was amazing. But I did want to throw that in there for people that may not understand the significance of being the trafficking and how local it can be. So thank you for that. I didn't mean to hijack it, because I do want to get to Gino. We want to hear all about Gino and the legend and Napoli's.
I'm not sure how I can follow all that. Legend, dollar, and that's an introduction for itself. Morning, everyone. My name is Gino Mulliqi. I live in Wylie. I'm married to my wife, Larina, who is a college professor here locally in Wylie, does dual credit. We have 2 kids. We have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son. I guess the hobbies used to have hobbies, but now with the kids is whatever their sport they're playing nowadays. That's my hobby, because that's what we have to follow. I was listening to Dallas talk about the pictures and whatnot, and as I was watching NBA Finals last night, they showed a picture of Nikola Jokic on a Denver Nuggets jersey when he was 5-year-old back in Serbia, which is a neighboring country from where I'm from. And I was thinking, how can I save some of the pictures of my son when he was 2 and 3 with the baseball and a bat and jersey? Maybe he makes it to the big leagues, and I'll post that once he goes to the World Series. So just a correlation, I guess, something that I didn't think about. It will come up today. I own Napoli's in Wylie. I do own it for the past 10 years. Lived in Texas for close to about 11 years now. I'm from Kosovo. Moved as an exchange student here in the States when I was 16 years old. stayed in Oregon State for about 6 months, went to New York where I had a lot of family and friends, moved out there during college, worked on different restaurants and different pizza stores just for, as any student would do. And then once my wife's family's been in the restaurant business for over 35 years. Her dad opened Napoli's in Centerville, Solly's in Garland with his brother about 30 years, 35 years, and then opened Napoli's in Centerville, probably about 30 years, give or take. It's interesting how I ended up in Wylie. My father-in-law, during 4th of July 2013, we were driving around Sunday, I remember like yesterday, and just the feel that I got just driving and how the churches were full and how right after the church, everybody let out and they were just so much family oriented. And I told him, I said, I'd love to open a restaurant here. And so that's kind of how we started. And for me, it's been all about it. I guess the best thing I can say about everything you put in with the community, with the folks, it showed triple during COVID. The restaurant industry really suffered during COVID, so much so that, so many places that have closed down. Yet my business actually thrived. I gained more customers during COVID than I had previous to COVID. And that's purely on the community and how Wylie and how everyone rallied around the small business within town, in particular in mine. I mean, I had so many people come in. I was in the kitchen at the time, and I wanted to be more involved in the kitchen, especially that the front was closed, and just kind of make sure fine-tuning a lot of things that we were doing. My goal was not to let go of anyone during COVID time. It's something that I wanted, and I pride myself in. I wanted all my employees to work for me, so we kind of just transitioned folks and deliveries and front of the house and whatnot. And how many times people came all the way to the kitchen, took pictures with me and posted on Facebook about helping and making sure that we're surviving and supporting us. So everything that I've put in since 2014, when I opened the doors until COVID, literally paid 10 times forward on during COVID. And I'm so thankful for this community and to be a part of it. It's incredible.
Wow, what a great story. And I think that's a testament to who you are, Gino, as a person within the community, because when you see these challenges, if a person doesn't have, if I am a consumer and I don't have a good connection with a business, I'm probably not going to shop there when there's something like COVID, right? Because we all were directed and steered away from that. And just a quick story before we go to our last break or our second break, and we'll come back. I just drove back from Colorado on Sunday. I went through so many small towns, much smaller than Wylie. But when you look around, you see all these businesses that have closed. And it's heartbreaking because as I'm driving, I'm thinking about the families that impacted when that business closed. And some of these buildings were, they were really old. And so you knew that they had been there for quite a while. And a person's life dream that they passed down generation to generation ceased to exist. And a lot of that is because of the community, and the ones that still exist are because of their deep roots within that community. And so I say that because I don't ever want any of us to forget that the community is part of us and we are part of the community, and we have to remember that every day. And if we don't, then we can be one of those that ends up suffering. So having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our second break, and then when we come back, we're going to get on to our subject. And I think each one of us is going to have a unique perspective because we've already hinted at it, but the challenges that we face and how to thrive in a small market. So everybody stick around. We will be right back. And this is the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Knapp with Norwex. Chemical-free sustainable solutions for your home. Dallas Jones with Rementas.
Bringing your technology and memories back to life.
Marissa Berry with Lawyer's Title. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Terrapedia with Texan window cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
The Difference Media LLC is made possible by the following partners and sponsors.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, discounts for seniors, military personnel, and students, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond, let us get it out of the dust. Do you love the great outdoors, but hate tent camping? Well, then you need to check out North Texas Glamping Adventures. We offer a one-of-a-kind glamping experience. Our 2021 32-foot travel trailer that sleeps 5 is fully furnished and equipped with all the luxuries of home, including everything you need for a comfortable stay, including linens, towels, a kitchenette, and a private bathroom. Even lanterns, an outdoor cook stove, and chairs. But the best part is, we will even deliver and set up your travel trailer for you, within 75 miles of Wylie, Texas. So all you have to do is show up and enjoy your outdoor adventure. So if you have been dreaming about a weekend at the lake or campground, then click the link in the description or give us a call at 214-883-1294. So what are you waiting for? Book your stay at North Texas Glamping Adventures through OutdoorsE.com today.
In your car, at work, at home, and through your ear pods.
That's why I listen.
2940 The Difference. On air everywhere.
The Difference, its show's host and co-host would like to thank all of our sponsors, because together, we can all make the difference. To learn more about our sponsors, go to our website, www.thedifferenceradio.com. And now back to the show.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Thank you again to our sponsors for making this happen. We couldn't do it without you. But now we're going to get to what I'm excited about. Overcoming challenges as a local business owner. Raise your hand if you've never had a challenge in your business. That's what I thought. If there's anybody watching that's a small business owner and you've never had a challenge in your business, please call us and tell us how we can do that. Because I think that you know, as an entrepreneur, that's kind of what we sign up for, right? We're problem solvers. Marley's a problem solver. April is a problem solver. Gino is a problem solver that we all have, and that's hunger. So he fits that perfectly. Dallas is a problem solver. A lot of people don't understand the problem they have until it's too late. But if you pay attention to Dallas, he can help you solve that problem before it ever happens. Correct? Am I wrong?
Usually.
Yeah, usually, most of the time. So what I want to do is I want to go around round table discussion, and I want each one of you to talk a little bit about the challenges that you faced as a business owner and how you've worked to overcome that. And this is an open discussion. So if anybody has a question for the person talking, let's get this rolling and get into this pretty deep, because there's a lot of people watching that want to know what we've done to overcome some of the obstacles that we've faced before. So April, I'm going to let you go first. We're going to start with ladies. So we're going to go April, Marley, Gino, and Dallas.
Well, I'd say, especially for Noonday, one of the biggest challenges as a direct sales company is just finding people who are willing to partner with me to create marketplaces for our artisans' art, jewelry and accessories. And the way we do that is through trunk shows. So that happens typically in people's homes, or, people can gather friends at restaurants and things like that. But that's specifically for my business. That's probably the biggest challenge, is finding those who are willing to do that. Because I think there's just a lot of stigma, like Marley mentioned, with direct sales. And And then just, people have all kinds of reservations about, inviting their friends in to shop and hear about Noonday, whether it's just because of having to clean their house or, like I said, the stigma with direct sales. So usually the way I overcome that is just trying to make it just real easy. It doesn't have to be anything, big or grand. I just try to, ease any kind of worries they have about, what it's going to look like. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Marley, what about you?
Yeah, tagging right along with April, Norwex has a similar format where we're sharing our products through Facebook meetings or through in-person sessions. I think for me personally, and I see this a lot, you kind of work through your warm network of people that you know, and it's like what's next after that. And I don't think there's much focus in the industry that I've been exposed to, at least, where they're teaching us to break out and go into the community and to expand our circles, get to know new people through, volunteering, through going to chamber meetings or master network type meetings, and really connecting with other business owners. And that's part of what really drew me into master networks, was this opportunity to not only meet new people, but also kind of learn what is it to truly be a business owner. And there's this mindset, I think, that a lot of us have, that it's just passive income and I can do it on the side. But for those of us that really genuinely look to build a business from it and grow and, have a sustainable income through this type of sales, it really is a challenge to meet those new people and then to, like April said, invite them to partner with us. I do see a lot of growth and change in the industry. We're seeing a lot of the larger companies starting to look for ambassadors, people to talk about their brand and put their brand out there for them, which is a lot of what we do. And so I'm really excited to kind of see the potential of that and how it maybe elevates direct sales as a whole, but also gives us the opportunity to sort of step up and be more recognized as legitimate service industry type of business.
So Marley, I think you make a good point. I think that for a lot of people, the direct sales, home marketing, like the old Tupperware type.
Right. That's what everyone thinks of.
That they do. They think of that. And they also don't put as much faith but they look at it as like it's a side hustle.
Right.
If I don't do business with you, you're going to be okay anyway. But they don't realize that a lot of people have chosen that strategy because it fits well with family life and a lot of other things. But they're just as serious about growing their business and being successful in that business as anybody with a brick and mortar store.
Absolutely.
And so it is, you have a challenge in overcoming that. I think COVID, and Gino talked about how he thrived doing that. I saw a lot of businesses thrive during COVID because they were willing to adapt and change.
The direct sales industry as a whole grew tremendously during COVID because everyone was home and because we were able to pivot and do online sales. And so you see this huge surge. I personally had over 120% growth in my business in 2020. Wow. And it really has kind of slowed down since then. But Norwex actually, we grew globally in 2020. We're a global company founded in Norway in 1994 that's migrated to the United States. Canada, we're in over 20 countries, and we had 330% growth during COVID. Not just because we have cleaning supplies, people were out of paper towels on the shelves, and I'm like, I have a cloth for that. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole industry grew significantly. And so I think there's something to be said about that and for that, to the legitimacy of, hey, this is a way that we can get by, and not just get by. We can thrive. People in this industry make really good money, and they work their business and really put effort into to building. And so to be recognized, though, there has to be a change in the way that society views that business model. And so I want to be a positive force for that.
Well, and I think you are. I mean, that's
Thank you.
one of the things that you said, and it just got me to thinking here now, is that the way that people have marketed themselves in the direct sales business has been with the family and the close sphere of influence that they have. But you're stepping out into the major networking organizations, and you're meeting people. You're showing people that this is a business. It's not a side hustle. It's a business. And you're developing the relationships just like anybody else in any profession does and needs to do. And it's building those relationships that allows you to continue to expand your circle of influence. So I think you're a great ambassador, not only for Norwex, but for direct sales. And so if anybody's in direct sales and you're challenged, you might want to call Marley, because she's doing well. I think she could give you a pretty good blueprint on how to meet the right people so that you can grow.
It's definitely a process, and I'm in the beginning phases of that growth. It's taken me a long time to get here, but I'm really excited about the potential that I have now and where it's headed, and the explosive piece that's 16 to hopefully be on the cusp for me. So,
well, that's awesome. You're doing a great job. All right, now we're going to switch over and we're going to go to Gino now. Gino, when you started here in Wylie with Napoli's, what were some of the challenges that you faced? As a matter of fact, I do want you to talk a lot about COVID and what might have looked like a challenge and how y'all were able to overcome that.
Yeah, so, moving to Wylie, obviously, without knowing anyone, you want to be able to create an environment. For me, I don't look at Napoli restaurant. I always wanted to be looked at as a part of the community, a part of a space where folks can use it. If it's April for her own business with a private room to grow her business, Marley throwing a show and showcasing her products within it. I want it to be a space where folks can come in and enjoy not only the food in the company, but also showcase their business and wanting to be a part of the community that will enhance and empower young entrepreneurs to grow with it. Also, the way the Napoli's in Wylie is designed, the big main dining room, I always wanted to be open. And I remember talking to the designer and the architect while we were building it. And he's like, why can't we do some nooks and crannies? I said, no. What I want, and for me, what's important is that if seeing a neighbor after maybe many months, and while both of them are eating in Atlas, I want them to be able to see each other and say, oh, wow, okay, I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to see you. It's great to talk to you about it. I want to create that small feel. Wylie has had that small feel, always looking out for each other. And I wanted Napoli's to be a part of that. So I made it a point when I first moved in, when I first opened the restaurant, it wasn't about the money. You got big corporations, big entrepreneurs that they're always looking at the bottom line. For me, it wasn't about taking a quick hit or a shortcut and not to say that I had the money to do it, right? But for me, it was about wearing different hats. It was about being here for a long time. I wasn't planning to move. I had bought the house in Wylie. My son was born at the time. My daughter came back after. They were going to go to the Wylie schools, which they are. So I wanted to be a part of all of it and have fingerprints on all of it, because the better Wylie is, the more successful my kids are going to be moving forward. And so that's really, I don't look at Napoli's or my restaurant as just a part of just being a restaurant serving normal food and having people at the restaurant. I look at it being a part of culture in Wylie and grown with the Wylie the way we've grown. And obviously we've seen tremendous growth in the past few years. So that has been the atmosphere that I wanted to create. And as a small business owner, you don't have the budgets or the funding that a large company has to do social media. During COVID, social media was really, really big part of everything we did, because that's the only way that we could reach folks. There was no other meetings. There was no gatherings to be part of, to showcase your business or whatnot. So social media was a big part of what we did. And I can't thank enough the community in Wylie and how much they did for me just by sharing the Napoli's. We've reached tremendous amount of folks during COVID just because of local people sharing and making sure that the local businesses are supported. And for us internally, challenges were, hiring, not a lot of people, right during after COVID, we were having a hard time hiring people. We were having a hard time having people to work. So we were making sure that, again, I go back to the creation of the environment. I have waitresses and folks in the kitchen that work for me for over 7-8 years. And it's about making sure that they know they're not just there to work, but they're part of the family. If they need anything outside of Napoli's, that you would be there for them. And in retrospect, that shows that they will care about your business and they'll care about your clientele and they'll care about everything else that goes on within your business. So that's been a part of my culture. I know sometimes I'm softy. Sometimes folks say, "Hey, you give in too much," or someone calls and says, "Hey, the pizza was not right. We'll make another one." It's not. It's never been about the bottom dollar. It's always been about making sure that you're taken care of, making sure that you're happy. Nobody wants to go out and eat or order out and be mad about a pizza or being the food late, or nobody wants to do that. And for me personally, I actually take that very personal, because the last thing I want to do is someone come to eat and we screwed up their night. The night that they chose to go out and spend their money and enjoy it out after all the stressful week that they've had during the week or within that day. And for us to come into our place and for us to destroy it, for me, it just doesn't sit well with me, just because I know how hard folks work for their money. And the last thing you want to do is put them in a bad mood for the next few days.
Very good. Very good. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Gino, I do have a couple of points I want to hit on that you said, and then we'll probably have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to give everybody a chance then to tell our audience how to get in touch with you if they want to do business with you. But we are going to take this third break, and we will be right back.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Jenny Connolly with TC Roofing and Restoration. Trust TC to keep you leak-free. Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. The Power of Advertising. Lynn Heberly with Coldwell Banker Apex, guiding you home with heart and expertise. And by Marissa Page with Page Restoration. When the worst happens, let our family take care of yours. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, we're back. We're talking to Gino with Napoli's. While we were on break, I hope y'all don't mind me saying this, but this is what the show's all about. In our private chat between us five here, Marley reached out to Gino and said, "Hey, I would love to have an event at your place." And so what's great about this show, the Community Difference, is we do want to make these connections, right? Obviously, you two partnering together is going to help Gino and Napoli's. It's going to help Marley. And that's what makes us strong as a community, when as business owners, we can figure out ways to work together. And so that's really cool. I hope y'all don't mind me sharing that. But I couldn't help myself. So Gino, one of the things that I wanted to mention before we get into the final segment here is a good restaurant within a community is like an extension of our own home. It really is. You've got the people that work there that you become so used to and so familiar with, and you know the faces you're going to see when you walk in. You know how you're going to be treated, and I think that's how you can survive in a community, when you have that vibe that, you know, I'm going to Gino's. But here's the other thing I think, and you probably know this better than anyone. You mentioned about how you wanted that to be a good experience because of their hard-earned money and they're going out to have a good time. Are the expectations for a restaurant higher than maybe any other business? I mean, because it's like, I'm going, I know what I want to eat. I know what I'm expecting. And if you don't get it, Man, what a letdown. That's a lot of pressure, man. But you've got that fix it strategy, right? So if they're not happy, you fix it.
You know, it's true. You know, you set a precedent. You know, in 2014 when we first opened, obviously the precedent is set that we still have folks that have been with us for years since I opened in 2014. And you do set a precedent, you know, the timing of the food, the taste of the food and whatnot. And you try to keep it as consistent as possible. And obviously the more you have the folks that are staying with you, the longer, that's kind of a consistency. But you also are not as busy as you were on a Friday night on 2014 that you are in 2023. So the timing and the expectations is always changing and evolving, right? And you're setting the precedent about, you know, the expectations that are coming up. But, you know, for me, listen, it's a great business. Pressure is, and I can relate to where I come from, you know, during the war when I was 14 years old in 1999 in Kosovo. That's pressure for me. You know, this is icing on a cake, being able to help, being able to be a part of freedom that United States and Wylie and the citizens of Wylie presented to me, and giving me a second chance on living in democracy. And there is no pressure. You know, I want to be a part of the successful stories of all the kids that work for me. You know, I want to see them come through Annapolis. I tell them, I hope I don't see you in 4 years, because I don't want them to be a part of Annapolis. I want them to go to college and hopefully they start their life and their education. I want to be a part of that. So there is pressure about performing, but if you do the right thing, you know, God has a way of paying you fivefold. And you know, like I said, shared my COVID story, and it's always about, you do the right thing, good things will come forward.
Well, I appreciate that. I especially appreciate you bringing perspective to some of us that have lived in the United States our whole life and may take a lot of it for granted. And I know that we do. We're all kind of spoiled, and we kind of look at our certain challenges as poor, pitiful me. And when I hear these stories of people that have come to this country and love this country and can appreciate things that we fail to see day in and day out, it's a good reminder. I really appreciate that.
Now, that does not mean that I don't get annoyed or like cool times of time. Okay, I do, in fact. But you know, it's about making sure that we take care of it.
Right. Well, it's all about perspective, and I really appreciate your perspective. So we've got about 7 minutes left. So I want to give each one of you just a couple of minutes to talk again about first. And we're going to let Marley go. And Marley, talk a little bit about Norwex, how they can get in touch with you, and then we'll move over to April. You're on mute, Marley.
There we go. Norwex is all about helping you clean and maintain your home without using harsh chemicals. We are finding so many causes and links to chemical usage in the home with a lot of disease and prevalence of things that weren't here 100 years ago or pre the Industrial Revolution. And so really simplifying and cutting out unnecessary things and really truly just kind of creating a safe haven. That's part of our mission, is to have our homes be a safe place where our bodies can kind of detox from the world around us, as we are exposed to so many things. And so there's a lot of health aspects to it. We can't make any claims that we, cure anything, but there's a correlation between so many of the things that it's really impactful to see Even my kiddos, my older two, they get sick more than my younger one. I used Norwex after my youngest one was born. But so the older two were exposed to more chemical cleaners, traditional cleaners when they were younger. And my little one doesn't get nearly as sick. Her immune system is better. And so just to see that impact is awesome. And to think about the future with, sustainability and eliminating all of the single-use items, paper towels. I don't buy paper towels anymore. When COVID hit and everybody was panicking, I was like, I don't need that. I'm not worried. So it's reassuring and comforting in a lot of ways. But to find me, I'm on social media, Marley's Everyday Solutions. I try to offer solutions and tips to help you live a sustainable and healthy lifestyle. I primarily focus on my Facebook group community that I have there. I'm on Instagram, and I'm looking for people who want to, like April said, that want to partner and help me be an ambassador for this brand and our mission and kind of our goal to help make the world a better place.
That is awesome, Marty. Thank you so much. April, we're going to bring you up now. Tell us something that we need to know about you and Noonday, and then obviously we got it scrolling at the bottom how people can reach you.
Right. Yeah. So my website, it's right there, aprilmozingo.noondaycollection.com. So that's where you can go to shop. Of course, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, we've got Noonday's always doing like sales and promos. So this month is our big warehouse sale. And then next month is Noonday's like birthday celebration. So there's gonna be all kinds of sales. And then in August, we launched a new line. And I also, through my business, every month I donate 10% of all sales to different nonprofits. So for June, my business is fundraising for an organization called Bread for the World. July, I'm fundraising for the Pregnancy Resource Center of Mesquite and Rockwall. And then in August, I'm fundraising for Five Loaves Food Pantry in Saxe. So yeah, I would just love to partner with anybody, to create a marketplace, or you could just shop my site. And then, I'm the volunteer coordinator for Catalyst Ministries. So we could use everybody's help really for that ministry. We've got some work days. So those are great opportunities for, anybody to come help because, we own a property that is the restorative home. So just like any other home, there's all kinds of projects. So there's a work day on June 17th and then July 22nd. And you can just go to catalystministries.net and you go to locations and you click Texas because we have 2 locations. Click Texas and you'll see all the events. So the work days and then like volunteer information nights. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, April, for being on. We're going to let you go next. For anybody that doesn't know where Napoli is located, tell us and tell us a little bit, maybe something else you didn't get a chance to tell us before. We got about 2 minutes.
I'll thank April for mentioning Five Loaves organization. Audrey has done a fantastic job on creating that organization and how much she has given back. The day that she opened. So really proud of her. It's a great plug-in on that. Napoli's is in Wylie. It's around on 78, right off downtown. Most of the time, unless now that I'm a city councilor in Wylie. Thank you, Dallas, for putting my cell phone number in here. So I get a lot of citizens' comments and participations, not only in the restaurant, but in the city issues as well. But I'm there most of the time. Come in, break bread, share your story, and would love to have you and host you. And, I know we're not perfect, but know that we will do everything possible to make sure that we get you right.
Awesome. All right, Dallas, I'm going to let you close us out, man.
Sweet. So my information scrolling. Y'all know how to get a hold of me, or should be scrolling in a second. There we go. All right. So I just wanted to do a takeaway from what Gino was talking about, and he hinted at it because of the situation with designing his restaurant, and that is values. Do everything you do based off of your values and who you are and what impact you want to have. And when you build a business or a personal life or family based on values and make that your core of who you are, then there's nothing that the culture or the world or anybody else can do to stop you when you're on mission and living based out of values. So thank you so much, Gino, for mentioning that. We really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that's all the time we got for today. I want to thank April, Gino, for being our guest. Dallas, thank you for filling in for Marissa. Marley, as always, great job. Great job, everyone. And we'll be back on Thursday at 11:30 with the second edition this week of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you like today's show, please share, like, and subscribe, and make sure to shop, buy, and hire in Wylie. Special thanks to all the guests, co-hosts, and sponsors of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.